नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. We welcome all the participants and viewers of the Utsavamurti Alankaram series back again today for the class. So in today's class, we are going to be learning how to tie the turban Alankaram for Swamiji's deity. So if you see, the turban itself has various forms and various different styles and designs. As you may have seen on Swamiji himself, how he has made different various styles of turbans, from Gujarati to South Indian to so many different styles of turbans. So today we're going to be looking into two specific turban styles. One is the Gujarati Swaminarayan turban style, and the another one is the formal turban style of the Sangha, which is the one that Swamiji used to wear in the earlier days before 2008 and 2009, when Swamiji used to wear only the orange kavi cloth, when he used to tie the turban in a single format. We're going to do that first and then move into the Gujarati Swaminarayan turban style. So let's get started. So when we start the Alankaram, the turban Alankarams, we have usually received the same question that many people have is, how do you tie the turban for Swamiji's deity when he is having such a head? So because of the flat head that Swamiji's Murti has, so how do we tie the turban? So usually for turbans, we will always tie the top, means the base, we will always make the base and then we will do the top clothing. So for the base, you can always use any normal sari and do the base, but preferably you can use cotton, because cotton gives you a better grip, gives a better grip onto the head of the deity. Always cotton is the most preferable one for any base work, whether it is making the Katumurti or tying the turban or tying the Talay Alankaram, or you making any jewel mala, any stuff. So cotton is always the best. In case you do not have cotton saris, you can use the other saris. So always start it like this, okay? And then when you rotate, remember to rotate at the back from below. Okay, do not do it here. Okay, do it from here. Okay, and then you go. So when you start, always it will be covering the deity's face, but do not worry. Continue and go ahead and do it, because once we are done, we are going to push the whole turban up. Okay, so tie it tightly. Make sure you are doing it very tightly and go in the same order. So we go from the top right to the bottom left, and from the bottom left we go to the top right again, and again you go the same way. So some people always have the issue that when they come like this and they want to rotate it again, the cloth slips for them. See, it happens like this. So to avoid that, you need to, when you go down, when you go up again, you need to bring the cloth down. If you can see closely, you need to bring the cloth down and then bring it up again. So then the cloth will not fall. So this is enough of a base. Okay. And now I'm done with the base. So the extra cloth, I'm leaving it behind, and then I'm slowly twisting it and I'm taking it up. See? So when you tie the turban, do not expect it that it will stand up at the first. You need to tie it and then you move it left to right. Okay, and once the cloth gets a bit loose, then you lift it up. And always remember, if you have seen Swamiji, he always wears his turban above the eyebrow lines. So make sure that your turban also does not go below the eyebrow lines. Okay. So the ears are also shown. Now, once you have done with the base, you can take any cloth you want. Depending on the color of the alankaram that you're doing, you can choose the cloth. Or if it's a normal alankaram of Swamiji, then we would use the kavi, unless you're doing some color alankaram that we're doing right now. So you can pleat the cloth. Okay. Take the cloth and pleat it. And yes. And usually people ask if we can, do stitch turbans and stitch permanent turbans. But we would suggest that better not to stitch turbans, because when you stitch turbans, if you want to reuse that same cloth for any other style or any other alankaram, then it would be very difficult for you to change it and it would just become waste. So for example, like now we do not use any more turbans, the old style turbans, the orange color turbans. Now we have moved on to the brown kavi color turbans. Okay, so because of that, if you had stitched any orange color turbans, then it would be very difficult for you to use them again. Now they would not be having any use anymore, so that would just be a waste of cloth. So it's always advisable that you do everything with just the cloth and remove it, so that you can reuse it for some other purpose later if you're not going to use the cloth. So again, if you can see, this is the earlier style that Swamiji used to tie his turban in. Okay, and again the line is coming below the eyebrow, so we're going to push it up a bit, and there you go. So yeah, just push it a bit and you have the turban ready. So now on the turban, you can choose to put various assortments of jewels. So depending on your choice and your creativity, you can put on different types of jewels. So I'm going to do with the round pendant in the center. So this part of the turban, the jewelling part of it, is a completely creative based part of the alankaram, because you can just choose to vary and change the ways you want to put on the jewels for the turban. Okay, and one more jewel. So this is like a basic turban that I'm teaching you today. You can go on and experiment on various different ways of putting the jewels. Okay, so this is a basic turban that if you want to tie, if you are in a rush and you need to finish an alankaram very quickly, and you need to do a decent enough amount of alankaram, then you can do this style. And yeah, so that will be a very basic alankaram, and quite decent enough and basic. So if you want to do grander versions of it, you can add on the frills to the side, and you can add on the hanging cloth. So all these additions you can do. Okay, so now we will be getting onto the Gujarati style of the turban. So let me remove the earlier jewels and the earlier cloth. So I'm going to use the same cloth again for the turban, and show all of you how do we do the Swaminarayan style. In Swaminarayan temple, they have various different styles, and their turbans are all an amazing piece of work. As each day, Swaminarayan temple, they change the alankaram, and no alankaram is replicated in 365 days. So if you have seen one alankaram, then be very sure that you will not see it for the next 365 days. So that is the level that they maintain their alankarams at. So we are going to now see the basic Gujarati Swaminarayan turban that is most widely followed. So you remove the top layer, the finishing layer cloth. Okay, so now what we need to do is, this is a quite simple turban. It's not too complicated, and it's quite a nice one also. So have the base cloth there as usual, and now take on the sari. Okay, so with the sari now, fold the sari. Okay, fold it to an extent of maybe 6 inches inside. Okay, so if you can see, the sari is here and I'm folding it here. Okay, so I'm folding it for the full length, and now I'm going to pleat the sari. Okay, why am I doing the double layer? The double layer is done for giving a stiffness to the frills that we're going to add. So the Swaminarayan turbans have a frill to them, and we're going to add frills. Yes, so coming back to the Alankaram, so we have the fleet now ready, the frill. We have the frill ready for this turban. So you can just take about 4 inches to 4 to 5 inches. So why, again I was telling you, why do we do the double cloth is, why do we fold the cloth in half is, so that when you release the frills, okay, the frills will stand. If you do it in single cloth, it will move to one side, just fall the other side, won't stand. But this gives a very beautiful look to it. So now you can either pin it or you can tie it with a thin rope, the thin thread actually. So I prefer to tie it with a thin with a thin thread. And so you can use different cloths on the turban. You can have, especially there are many cloths just for this. Like in the ISKCON temples, they have lot of cloths available just for devotees to practice the alankaram themselves. So you can get those turban frills and stuff from the nearest temples too, or the nearest cloth fabric shop around you. You can just make up many beautiful types of turbans and different colors added together. So for example, you can add two different colors onto your turban, where one side of it can be maybe blue and the other can be orange, or it can be yellow and green, or it can be red and white, pink and sky blue. So stuff like that. You can make various styles and various colors and give it a very nice look. So here we have it. So I've tied the top part of it, and I'll be releasing this in the end. Once we are done, I'll just release this, but for now I've tied it with a thin rope. And now the lower one, that I've tied with a thicker rope because we're going to actually tie it here. Okay, so I have made quite a long rope for that. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah. Okay, so now take it onto your right side of the deity, towards the right side of the deity, and you tie it there. Okay, don't need to tie it extremely tightly, just tight enough for the cloth to stand. Okay, now this we have done. Now the rest of the cloth is here on the right side, so I'm going to turn it a bit to the front. Okay, so here we have the cloth. Watch very carefully. Take the cloth and go around. Okay, so you brought the cloth behind, and now you cover the ear. Okay, the Swaminarayan's basic styles are that you cover the ear on one side, and on the other side you do not cover the ear. So this is how they do it basically. So this is one way. This is basically the style. So now if you see, we have the border of the cloth that you can actually pull out, to give a nice detailing to your turban. So, and once you're done on the other side, so this is basically it. This is basically the whole alankaram, the Swaminarayan's alankaram. So I'm going to leave the rest of the cloth behind before I get on to fixing the other side. So now here we have a large gap, right? So this part of the cloth, I'm going to pull it. Okay, so if you can see the border, you can see the border again. So we're going to pull it. Okay, and once we are done pulling, we are going to tighten it. So this is the basic Swaminarayan turban style. So onto this turban also you can do various types of jewelling, and you can put on different jewels, whatever you like, however you want to enjoy dressing up the deity. So I'm again going to put on the jewels. So I'm going to put one jewel here, just right below the frill. I'm going to put one jewel here, one pendant. Okay, so there one, and then I have another necklace here. Okay, so I'm going to put the necklace onto the other side. Okay, so here I'm going to put on the necklace. Okay, and then we have the other necklace, the gold one that we were using earlier. So I'm going to put that also here. Okay, so put that under. Okay, now we have done the basic, and again you see this side should not come below the eyebrow line. So now we have done the basic, Swaminarayan turban. So the jewels, you can change it according to the way you want. So now I'm going to cut off the thin rope that we had earlier. Be very careful that you do not cut the cloth, because the cloth is being used for God. So be very, very sensitive about that. And I've cut the cloth now. So then it's released now, and I'm going to just open it up. Okay. So be very careful here, because you have the entire jewels now standing onto the turban. Okay, so there you go. Now you have the Swaminarayan turban done. This is a basic turban. And now, so for the extra part of the cloth, what you can do is, now there is so much of the cloth left. So you can take the other end of the cloth, okay, and you can start pleating it. Very small pleats. Small pleats, the more smaller pleats you make, the better. So maybe for 1.5 feet tall, or maybe 2 feet tall. So make pleats. Make the pleats for about maybe 1.5 inches length, and you go on making the pleats. So the Swaminarayan temple, they have done many variations and many additions to this style of turban. And you can go online and search for the Swaminarayan turbans, which is actually a part of your homework today. So now we have the cloth ready, but it is all buffy and puffy. So we're going to twist the cloth. So why do we twist the cloth? Is that it acts as a ironing. So now once I twisted the cloth and I release it, it all stands. Okay, so now put the cloth on the shoulder. So if the turban frills is on the right side, the fall comes on the other side. Okay, the fall comes on the other side. Okay, and now we are going to release the frills here. Okay, you can actually just crumple the cloth a bit. Okay, and then you can release the frills. Okay, so there you go. This is the basic Swaminarayan style. So they have many variations to it, where this hanging cloth comes from here, and they have 2 hanging cloths and stuff like that, 3-4 frills. So you can do all that additions. And we have come to the end of today's class. So in today's class, we have learned how to do the basic turban and how to do the Swaminarayan turban also. So today's homework for everybody is to go online and find 5 different photos of turbans. You will find 3 photos of Swamiji's turbans and 2 of Swaminarayan's turbans. So let me repeat again. Find 3 photos of Swamiji with turban, different types of turbans, and 2 photos of Swaminarayan's turbans. Please post them on your Facebook profile with the hashtag Utsava Murti Alankaram series or Nityananda Alankaram. So with this, I thank all of you for joining us today. And from tomorrow, we are going to be learning as I was telling earlier, we will be learning the Kattamurti series again. So now we have done with the Thalai Alankaram and the Turban Alankaram, which is basically the whole head dressing of the Alankaram. There is another part of Thalai Alankaram which involves flowers. So once we are able to get those flowers, we will be having that session alone in addition to the Kattamurti series that is going on. So from tomorrow we will be doing the Kattamurti series again, and this time we will be teaching you a different way of doing the Kattamurti series, the way of doing the Kattamurti chest and stuff like that. So with this we'll end with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Bhagavat Sri Nityananda Parama Shiva Padukarpanamastu. Om Nityanandam.